We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, our next item of business is swearing in the new board of trustees, and we're going to turn that time over to Gina.
Okay, Trustee Moore, please rise and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Derek Moore, do swear
I, Derek Moore, do swear
that I support the Constitution of the United States,
that I support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Idaho,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Idaho.
and that I will faithfully discharge all the duties
I will faithfully discharge all of the duties
of the office of trustee of Middleton School District number 134,
the office of trustees for Middleton School District number 134
yes, in Canyon County, state of Idaho,
in Canyon County, state of Idaho,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Trustee Miller, raise your right hand, please. I, Griggs Miller, do swear
I, Griggs Miller, do swear
that I support the Constitution of the United States,
I support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Idaho,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Idaho,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
all the duties of the office of trustee
all the duties of the office of trustee
of Middleton School District number 134
of Middleton School District 134
and Canyon County, state of Idaho,
in Canyon County, state of Idaho,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Moving on in your packet is the Code of Ethics. If you will give that to Gina at some point this evening. Thank you. I'm jumping ahead because I was called, my bad. Okay. So we're moving on to the organization of the board. And as a facilitator, I know this is a tough job. It's not easy and it's thankless, but I am so willing to step into this role. I love this community. I believe in it. But
I make a motion to appoint Mary Ann Blackwell as chair.
as I stated, I would love to do this and I'll second it.
I would like to nominate Kirk Adams as
I
chair.
think we have to go through with the,
We can't take multiple nominations when
I think
it's,
you have to do the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you do?
so there's a first and a second. Is there any discussion?
I just think you've been vice chair and you've been on the board the longest, so.
Okay, so call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
I
Opposed?
Nay.
Aye.
Okay, the motion's failed.
I would like to nominate Kirk Adams for chairman.
I'd second it.
I think,
It's been moved and seconded. Do we have any discussion? Sorry.
yeah, I would accept it. It's been a learning curve in the last 9 months. I think I've proven I can work with all parties and be open-minded and would accept the challenge for sure.
I just heard though that nothing against you, Kirk, but that you're planning on running for state legislature here in a couple minutes.
I think that's probably what I will do. But if I do that, would be under the guise that I would take the school board to the state legislature and have a legislature that was pro-school board. And I think those would.
That's just my only concern. I mean, if here in a couple months, we're gonna have to redo it. I just think somebody that has kids in the school, personally, that's just my opinion, but I mean, it's nothing against you. It's just planning on running here in a couple months. It seems like it's something that I would take into consideration.
And I have.
So discussion, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so motion moved. Great. So we move to this point, and then we'll go to the second, because he'll have to take over that
Yeah.
point, right? And then he can do,
We just switch now.
then the vice chair, treasurer.
Treasurer, get your cheat sheet open.
I wrote it down. But just- No, just don't drink out that water.
Switch your water to. I would say now we open up nominations for the vice chair.
I would like to nominate Alicia for vice chair.
I'll second it and accept it. And
So we have a motion
With a second.
with the second. We now open up for discussion.
Just to speak on my behalf, I have been on the board as long as Mary Ann, and I've been involved with teachers' negotiations. I have had the opportunity to run a meeting, and I feel like if Kirk is called away on duties, that I could step in and substitute his role until he's available to come back. And I think that I can be transparent and keep the lines of what a board member is supposed to do and what the community needs to know, and represent both sides fairly like I should.
I was thinking of myself too. Any other discussions? Seeing no further discussion, we move to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed,
Nay.
motion passes.
You have to appoint treasurer and clerk, even though you've already done that.
So we can,
With Cheryl and Gina.
oh, we have to reappoint them?
Well, you have to do a vote for them. You have to vote on them.
So I'd like a motion that we approve our current treasurer and clerk, taken together. Appoint our current maintain, will be formality, or are we discussing it, or we?
Well, you need to decide. At your January meeting, you always decide on chair, vice chair, and then whether one of you wants to be the treasurer or Cheryl as the operations and finance, and if one of you wants to be the clerk, or we have Gina. So that's your decision.
So do we have to make a motion?
We have to make a.
Okay.
Oh,
Motion.
same.
Okay.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion to, can I clump them together?
I think so.
As Cheryl, our treasurer, and Gina as our clerk.
I second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I move for the vote. All in favor of having Cheryl be our treasurer and Gina be our clerk, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yeah. I need to look at and say here. If Monday's, second Monday of the month is still the time that you all want to do, at 6 p.m., you can, it's totally up to you because this is your meeting. So that you need to,
So I guess we
Mhm.
entertain a motion.
entertain a motion to accept the current board meeting schedule.
I move to accept the current board meeting schedule as presented with the meeting dates and time remaining at the second Monday of the month at 6 p.m. at the district office.
I second it.
On discussion, I would say, I think we should be, any discussion? I would say that something we want to be conscious of, I think the city meets tonight at the same time. And I would love to have a discussion with the city at some point in time that maybe have our meetings not conflict. So the community has a chance to go to both meetings instead of choosing one. So like to discuss with the city and the board at some point in time to maybe look at our schedule and try to figure out so the community could actually come to all meetings instead of having to choose.
So they are set up with the same agenda the second Monday of every month.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Planning and zoning.
Just
So-
planning and zoning.
And then special meetings, just planning and zoning.
Just P and Z.
That's it, so just a thought, I think going forward, we make ourselves as accessible as possible. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I call for the vote on the motion on the floor to accept the meeting schedule as listed in front of us. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. So, yeah, I guess we need to move forward with a motion to accept the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to accept the agenda. Any discussion? None. Seeing none, call for the vote. All those in favor of accepting the agenda? Say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Agenda is approved. Next is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
I second it.
We have a motion with a second to accept the consent agenda. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote on the consent agenda. Motion on the floor. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The consent agenda is accepted. So we move forward to reports. That would be you, Dr. Ray.
Thank you. Again, just a little update. First of all, welcome back to all of you. Welcome to January. And Briggs, welcome to the board. Thank you for taking time this week to meet with me. And I enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better in our short time there. I've been updating you a little bit on the legislature. And this year I don't know how many of you watched the State of the State last week, but Little really is focused on education. And he is supporting Career Ladder and literacy, among other things. And then the Department of Education, Sherry Ibarra, her support really matches pretty closely to what Little did. So now the legislature has started, so we'll be watching and seeing what they're talking about and what they do moving forward, especially with funding and how they're going to lay it out there. So we'll keep you updated on that. So, short and sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jesse should be here.
She's
for it.
here.
Yep.
She's
Okay.
Just one. There we go. Thank you, board, Dr. Newberry, for having me here today for doing this. Tonight I get the privilege of speaking about Mill Creek Elementary and keeping everybody up to date on what's going on there. So our big push this year is MCE family. Last year it was throw kindness like confetti because we needed to improve that. This year we really wanted to focus on coming together as a family.
are you guys? All right, so here's a little snapshot about us. We currently have 700 students enrolled K-5 in our building, 34 certified teachers. Our free and reduced lunch percentage is down at 26%. We have 11 homeless students, 40 students in special education. That number will go up this week to actually 42 that will be qualified. We have 39 speech and language IDP students, 31 students currently on an I-plan with more coming every month. 33 GT students and 18 ELL students. So that's just a snapshot of us. Everything that we do within our building goes back to the strategic plan. So I know you've all seen that, but I wanted to make sure that you know that that's kind of always in our mindset when we're talking things that involve our building. I wanted to share with you our ISAT data. I'm sure you've seen it. This was last year's ISAT data. So this shows you our ELA literacy scores for last year. And then this is our iStation data from December. What I really wanted to highlight was second and third grade. Already, there's 5 more months of testing starting this week. They'll tested 5 more times. Already, second grade sitting at 81% proficient. That's pretty impressive right now. 75% in third grade. It's pretty common to see kindergarten and first grade a little bit lower right now as they're still learning and developing those reading skills as they go through. But some really positive things to highlight there in that. Our iReady reading data for 3rd through 5th grade, they were tested in December, so we tested about 6 weeks earlier than last year, 4 to 6 weeks. So the data should look a little bit different if you look at winter scores. But again, sitting pretty well. We have another 3 months of instruction, so not off, but I also want to be upfront with our scores. And this correlates really closely with ISAT. So if they were tested today on the ISATs, this is where they would come out. And then our math ISAT data from last year. 4th grade, and 3rd grade, they look pretty well higher than the state average. And then our iReady math data K-5. Oh, and I'm sorry about the bottom part so that they can see. Well, okay. Sorry, guys. But 5th grade, 57%. So again, math, but that I think is a direct correlation to our curriculum within the building and the support from the board of getting new math curriculum because our scores are going up. This is December. So kindergarten and first, you're still dealing with teaching the kids how to test. It's a long test. So they're still fighting that battle as well. Focus groups have been up and running. It's been a great part of our test scores and the reasons we're pushing and going where we're going. The teachers have worked, I would say, very diligently with our educational support staff to develop and offer our students the best instruction possible during those important times throughout our day. I want to talk peer observation. So something that we kind of started middle of the year last year and into this year. This has been huge in our building. So one of the things is the best professional development is right down the hallway. So our teachers have the opportunity, there's 10 days scheduled throughout the year. We've already done 5. There's been 30 peer-to-peer observations already done within the building. The instructional specialists play a big role in this. They come into our building, they have a pre-conference with the teachers, asking them, what do you want to go watch and learn from this teacher? What are the areas that you want to focus on? They go in and do the observation together, and then when they leave the observation, they're able to have a post meeting or a debrief. This has opened up the lines of communication within my building with teachers that normally wouldn't go in and see other teachers teach. So this has been a really big asset this year. Not only though is it benefiting items in my building, it's benefiting other buildings just naturally. The instructional specialist can take a strategy or items from a conversation and then again help teachers in another building as well. So it's been a really growing, it's given the teachers an opportunity to grow within our building right next door. I want to talk instructional specialists as well. We've already had nearly 70 requests at Mill Creek this year alone. That's been put into Happy Fox. These are the multiple ways that they've been utilized. I've seen some of them there between 5 and 6 at night working with some of my newer teachers. And not only teachers from my building, but teachers from other buildings are coming over to work with them as well. So that's, they're playing a role in our development of the teaching staff that we have in our building. Back to the peer observation. So I did open it up this month to our instructional specialists. So they will also have the instructional or education assistants. So our EAs will also have the opportunity to grow professionally alongside our teachers. So teacher leaders, I want to highlight this really quick. We have Kristen Williams. She runs the mentor-mentee program within the district. She also is on district leadership team. Yelena Maxwell's on district leadership team. Lynna Butler's our RTI rep for our building. Christian Califatic's one of our building, I call her our quiet leader. She is a phenomenal teacher and gets observed quite frequently within our building. Julie Bailey's another one who's observed quite frequently within our building and a quiet leader as well. Stephanie Bowling is our PBIS lead and MEA president. Jeanette Kisner has taken a really big lead within the district at with the music program, and she's also a mentee. Patsy Walrath is a member of our curriculum leads and also a leader within the building. And then Becky Rounds is our social committee lead within the building, and she's done a great job keeping the morale high within the building. There's a lot more that I could mention, just so you know. Teachers at Mill Creek have focused on bubble students. They continue to look at data and identify the students who are at risk or could be at risk. And then they're taking the information and they're really developing a plan of attack. So they're celebrating everything that they're doing great and they're looking at that, but then they're starting to build a plan of how to attack the areas that we're seeing need to be attacked within our building in different grade levels. I want to talk discipline really quick. It's been, I have a year under my belt, almost a year and a half. And discipline is always one of our front conversations. But I feel like the discipline that it's been very transparent and consistent within the building. And I'll show you in a minute. It's exciting to see with how well we're encouraging PBIS within our building, and the teachers and our support staff are taking that lead and making sure that it's happening. And it's directly affects the discipline within our building as well, which keeps my job a little bit calmer in that area. I appreciate that. PBIS, Stephanie Bowling's our lead. She's been our lead for a couple years now. She does a phenomenal job keeping us organized and our tier 1 and tier 2 teams in place. We hand out shine tickets. We do weekly rewards. So students get drawn. We've done a lot of neat things with that. And then monthly school-wide rewards as well. So they want to exhibit that positive, they want to exhibit the expectations that we're asking so that they get the positive reinforcement. Mill Creek is working hard to be proactive. We send out a behavior screener twice a year to our teachers so that we can identify students that need some support from the counselors. And so then the counselor is able to pull groups and have those conversations. I think this speaks volumes right here. So this is a 4-year graph on average referrals per day. So if you go to the light green, that's 2016, 2017. The blue is 2017, 2018. The orange is last year, 2018 to 2019, and the purple is 2019 to 2020. So this is a direct reflection of the teachers and the support staff within my building who have taken the time to embrace PBIS, bring it back, and really teach those expectations. There were months where we were up at 4 and 5 averaging per day. Those are referrals per day, and now we're sitting closer to 1 with 700 students. So this is a direct reflection to the teachers and support staff within my building. Also our students, because they're phenomenal as well. PBIS rewards. So some things that the kids look forward to it. We did, at Halloween time, we did like an Oreo spider, snowman pumpkin. Miss Bowling was the lucky first person who got picked to be wrapped up as a present at our sing-along in December. Another part about Mill Creek, I think teachers can attest to this. Sometimes they get asked to do some crazy stuff. One of our weekly rewards was getting pied in the face by students. That's Mrs. Williams and her happiness after she was pied in the face. But again, this drives those students to respond to our expectations, and they want to exhibit the behaviors that we're asking so that they can be a part of this. And we do this in the lunchroom, so all the kids get to see, like, it's a big deal. I want to talk really quick about our office staff. If you've ever walked into Mill Creek, you know that this is the backbone of what happens. These two ladies, Miss Alicia and Miss Debbie, do everything and anything to support our teachers and myself as well. And our students. They play nurse, they play mom, they play every single role imaginable. So I just wanted to take a minute to highlight them. Our building would not be as great if it weren't for those two. Our counselor is working, she was teaching monthly lessons, and after meeting with the PBIS team, it was talked about that the counselor shouldn't be teaching those monthly lessons. It should be the teachers teaching those monthly lessons, because that's where the kids spend the most of the time. So if we're gonna teach character lessons, they need to be done in the classroom by the teacher. So a shift we made this year was that she pushed that back on the teachers. So we're asking for 2.5 minutes a day of them to teach a character lesson to our students. She pulls groups designed to students' needs, so that's been helpful. She also is helping us with monthly citizenship awards. So students are getting t-shirts every month that get picked, and they're really cute. They say property of Mill Creek, and then on the back it has the character traits, so it's kind of a fun deal. We've also really focused on trauma. I know you've heard that from multiple administrators throughout the district, but as Middleton's growing, we're starting to see more and more students that are affected by trauma. And so she plays a role in that as well. We partner with Middleton Police and Middleton Fire. They come out to everything we invite them to. Our SROs are amazing. They aren't housed at Mill Creek, but anytime we've invited them to egg drop, they come teach lessons. They came to our Halloween parade. I had to put this picture in here because this speaks volumes for Middleton in general. This is the chief of police. This was a little girl whose mom forgot to pick her up and was sobbing, and he grabbed a book and sat down with her on the couch and just read with her. Like, that's just Middleton. So our relationship is amazing with them, and anytime we need anything, they come over. Communication goes out to parents in monthly newsletters. Also, I update weekly Skyward updates as needed. I don't want to overwhelm parents with too much communication. We are encouraging teachers to have positive communication with parents, and administration is doing that as well. We have consistent communication with the district office. Also, I feel like the board's been great. Anytime I see any of you, you always stop and say, how are things going? And I appreciate that. It's a nice check-in. Weekly memos go out to the staff, and then emails are sent throughout as needed. Some things that I just want to highlight about our building. We do an amazing, Jeanette Kisner puts on an amazing 9/11 assembly. It's just if you ever need a place to be, 8/15, 9/11, please come join us at Mill Creek. It is an amazing event. Mill Creek also gives back. We donated over 4,000 pounds of food to the Middleton Food Bank during our canned food drive. We also were able to support 11 families at Christmas time this year with just donations from parents. So we're truly blessed at Mill Creek. Some of the things that we do or that the kids look forward to, Rock Your School. The only day that students used to see teachers outside waving goodbye was the last day of school. So Lauren Denny brought it to me last year. We wanted to greet our students in the morning. So we play loud music one Wednesday a month. Our teachers line the sidewalk and also the back where they get off the bus, and we welcome our kids in. They need to know how important they are to us. So we are truly putting students first. And this is one of those things that we didn't do it the first Wednesday back, and I actually had a third grade teacher let me know that there was a kid crying because we didn't have our dance party out front. So it is a really important day for the kids. And the teachers, they have a great time. I mean, we have teachers that are like, it's a great time. It is a great time. Teachers love it, kids love it. STEM night, we did another STEM night this year. That was a huge success as well. Getting parents in the building is something that we want to happen, always. Friday Fitness, this little guy's ran, I think, over 60 miles already this year. I used to give Gatorades to the kids who would beat me running laps, but now we've really focused on trying to get more students involved. So now we're doing the top class in each grade level gets a bottle of Gatorade each month. So each student gets a Gatorade each month. And so we have, I think, about a 88 to 92% participation rate every single month. So that's a pretty amazing thing. And they love it. And we have teachers out running with them, and it's just a fun time. Our music program is, Jeanette does an amazing job, and I just wanted to talk about some of the things she does. She teaches an after-school orchestra class. She also does choir. She's bringing an Opera Idaho on January 21st for Mill Creek students. And then she also does nightly grade level music programs throughout K-5, which is a great deal. So she's an amazing person that is part of our building. Some other fun things we do, we have our new computer teacher, Mr. Steele and Mr. Bernstein, and they volunteer their lunch so kids can have the opportunity in 4th and 5th grade to play intramurals. So this fall we did intramural kickball, we have intramural basketball coming up, and then we'll also have intramural dodgeball. The students love this. There were 1st grade classes out there watching, kindergarten classes watching the older kids play kickball against the teachers. It's just building that community, and it's a fun day. Fun times, I mean, it's just fun. The kids love it. I started reading to classes monthly. This has been quite entertaining, and the kids really love it. So I'll pick different books each month and go in and read to the classes. I found that 5th grade students really love to be read to. They're way better behaved than my kindergarten students because they don't get read alouds as often. So it's been interesting and fun to see the different classes in that light. I wanted to get some student stuff up here. So this is from Mrs. Butler's 4th grade class, and it just, some of the quotes, like in math instruction, I borrowed my partner's strategy and it works much better than mine. While reviewing for a unit assessment, my math partner taught me how to solve this. And then in focus groups, my math partner showed me that place value matters. So again, just some fun quotes from kids. Oh, I passed a picture. This is just them interacting with each other. 3rd graders learned about force and motion, and there was a really cute video that went with this, but I couldn't get it to load. So again, pulling in the science and hands-on activities, engaging those students whenever we get the opportunity. In 3rd grade, another thing that came up, students had to write our 3rd grade research report, but they had to keep in mind that their audience was 1st grade students. So they had to write it to the 1st grade students that they were able to go in and share. So this is one example from Mrs. Maxwell's class. And she actually went in and shared it with Miss Kay's class. And the students loved it because they were able to, it was really done to their level so that the 1st graders could understand it. Mrs. Hedberg's 2nd grade reading group class, they did a Fab 5 presentation, and this is really in depth for 2nd graders. They had to really dig into what we asked them to research and then they present it to parents as well as classmates. So another amazing opportunity of engaging students, but also teaching students as well. Where we're headed, we know it's time to go instructionally. We know that as teachers, this is the time. You have a good 3.5 months of hard and fast instruction. Continue to use data to drive our instruction. We want to maintain a systematic approach as much as we can. Monthly Rock Your School. We have a movie night coming up on January 24th, Daddy-Daughter Dance in February, Math Literacy Night in March. April is going to be a science fair, or my art teacher brought to me an idea to do an art show. So she might want to take that over and do an art show, or we do both as well. And then we want to do another STEM night because our kids love it. I just can't say enough how blessed Mill Creek is. In all honesty, we are very lucky. We have amazing students, amazing teachers, amazing support staff, amazing families, amazing district support, and community support as well. So we are truly blessed at Mill Creek.
Amazing principal.
Oh, thank you.
Jessica, when you look at data, we're looking at reading and math and those red lines.
Yes.
Obviously, I think the biggest thing I've been drilled in the last few months is those are students, not 15% or 17%.
They are.
when we fall short in reading and math, is it the same student or is it a different set of students, or do we?
So you do get those students that I don't want to say it negatively, but they do become, when I taught Title I, we call them lifers. Like we would throw everything at the book at them and we just couldn't get them to grasp it. And sometimes they do grasp it eventually, maybe 4th or 5th grade, sometimes not. So sometimes you are seeing those same students. Other students will dip in between, we call them our bubble students. So they'll kind of go in and out of the red, yellow, and green. And so we're really focusing on those students that we know we need to move while continuing to support our lower level students as well with intense intervention, small group instruction, all of those pieces.
So is that purely test score results, or how do we monitor? That was, you say bubble kids, is that we students, are we
So it's
off test scores or what else?
test scores, teacher conversations. They get together and they talk data quite frequently, especially in our building. They actually just sat down on last Wednesday, and came up with some game plans on how to address those students and attack the areas where those kids are struggling. So it's everything, because it's the whole child. One kid, it's just one day that they take that test, so we can't let that determine all placement. It has to also be teacher input as well.
Good job. We love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So our action item tonight, we just have one. Can we open up discussion, or we need a motion to have discussion?
Have a motion.
Right, motion. So we have a motion to discuss the resolution calling for a supplemental levy election.
I'll make a motion.
I second it.
We have a motion on the floor, the first and the second, resolution calling for supplemental levy. I think we could start discussion with Cheryl's input would be appropriate.
Absolutely. And anyone that would like a copy of this, please let me know, because we're handing it out. It will be as part of the work packet. We did have a work session earlier, as you know, to discuss the supplemental levy as it exists right now, which is $1,310,000. We do go to election on March 10th, so the board needs to approve the resolution to present to the county to put on the ballot. So before you, I made the changes to increase and ask our public for an increase to 1.5 million. We spent a lot of time really discussing the impact on what the district has been using the $1.3 million supplemental levy over the past. And so the sense is really that it's critical for us to maintain our small class sizes and to continue investing in the curriculum and technology for the students. So in order to do that, we've asked to increase to 1.5, but it's very important to understand the cost per 100,000 that will be identified on the levy. So currently that 1.3 million is $82 per 100,000. We're asking to increase that to $94 per 100,000. But we have an opportunity in our bond fund to reduce our levy rate in the bond due to some tax benefits and some really prudent investment of the ability to pay off some of the debt early. We were able to reduce our levy amount to offset the increase in the supplemental. So by reducing, so currently the bond is at $309 per 100,000. We will be levying that, reducing that to $292 per 100,000. So we have an increase on the supplemental of 12 and a reduction on the bond for a net reduction of $5 per 100,000. So we believe there is opportunity to see a little bit more of a reduction on the levy rate, because as values continue to increase and we get additional homeowners, they will help spread that over the population. So the district is committed to only bond or only levy the set dollar amount, not the levy rate. So we will levy at the 1.5, which hopefully they will even bring that levy rate down slightly. Any questions?
I don't have a question directly, but I would like to see a plan of how we're gonna educate the public and how we're gonna get this published out to the community to make sure that they have access to ask you questions, or that everyone understands, because the wording on the ballot, the law has changed over the last couple of years. There's a lot of numbers in here. If you can look at it on your way out even. I just want to make sure that the education piece is there, because that's so critical. I know, especially for me, there's a lot of numbers in here. And the other thing that I want to make sure is that our community and our stakeholders know why it's so important that we have this money and what it's being used for. There's a lot of uncertainty coming from the government right now, even as far as federal government and state government. Are they going to fund the career ladder? What is that going to look like? How are they going to fund public schools? We don't know. It came to the legislature last year and it was different, and it could have hurt us financially. So there's just so many unknowns. But that being said, we still have to have a budget, and we still have to maintain and support and keep moving forward as best we can. And I personally feel that this is reasonable for us to ask to be able to sustain where we're going. I just want to make sure that we can work together to make it very clear to the public, and hope that they have an open door and feel like they have access to us to ask questions, and make sure that we explain it correctly, so that there's that transparency piece there as much as possible.
Absolutely. I think the plan would be to, spend some time, develop those different levels of meetings to make it most available to the public in the evening and during the day. The current levy is so critical for us to maintain just at our current level. If we were to lose the levy, we would be looking at a major decrease in our budget and possibly having to reduce programs in order to have a balanced budget in June. So I think that we as a district need to invest in getting the tool and information out to our public in a different way. So any suggestions that we have, I know we'll be working on it, and I'm hoping to roll something out right away. Like I said, we will file this with the county clerk on January 20th for the election on the 10th. So we will be trying to flood some information out there, but please don't hesitate to ask for something we can provide.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to vote for the motion on the floor to accept the resolution calling for a supplemental levy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We have no further actions. Do we have anybody who signed up to speak tonight? Is Darren Poole here, sir? Darren?
I think I'm the only one on the agenda there.
You are the one that signed up, so
Okay.
you have 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm here on behalf of a recent decision that was met by the board in regards to the coach for the Middleton High School Blue Legacy Dance Team. And speaking in behalf, I've read all the policies of the school district. I've read the Idaho High School Athletic Association agreements and all of their policies. I've read the Middleton High School's athletic policies, which don't address any of this. And there's nothing in there other than the fact that it says that this coach cannot coach if their husband or spouse is on the board. There's nothing in any of the records that says that she has to be paid as a coach. And I would like to know where you guys are coming up with that, and to put it in writing is the first question. If you can't prove it, then why are we letting this coach go? She is the most wonderful coach there has ever been. You've broken 20+ girls' hearts. You've made a lot of parents concerned and worried about their student athlete. She has backed them ever from the beginning She's a mentor to them. And ask yourself if any of you have ever had a coach that's been a mentor in your life. Because I guarantee Coach Jenny Miller is a mentor to every one of those girls. She helps them succeed, she drives them, she coaches them, and most importantly, she loves every one of them like they're her own. And I can attest to you how important a coach is in your life when you have that. And you have that person to support it. So, and one other thing I'll add. My wife was recently diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma cancer. And because Jenny saw how much that was going to affect one of her student athletes, she stepped up. She comforted that girl. She's become a second mom to my daughter. And you guys are tearing that away with nothing to back it up. But a personal vendetta is what it feels like. This school board has been split. There's animosity towards each other within the school board, it feels like. I moved out here 6 years ago because of all the good things that was happening in the school board and all the good reports of the schools and everything that was going on here. And I brought my family out here. And over the last 3 years, that has continued to decline. So I think you need to rethink your decision. There's a lot of parents in here that are parents of these student athletes. And I think you need to reconsider your decision. And if you can't put it in your meetings why you made that decision and back it up with your meetings notes, then you need to change that decision. Because these girls' hearts are broken. And Jenny Miller is an amazing coach. She's taken the state, she's won state competitions, and she's grown this program for them. I'll leave it with that. Thank you.
We can't address it now. It wasn't on the agenda, but we can definitely set up a meeting. So appreciate you coming and speaking, and we can discuss about it. We can discuss it further. No question. Nobody else left to speak? Signed up? Entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting's adjourned.
Don't forget, students, if you're here, we can sign your papers. And board, don't forget to turn in your ethics paper. You need to sign those. We can.
There you go, bud.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, wait a minute, I can show you. Thank you. Yes.
You have a gift for me?
Mary Ann?
You're welcome. Wow, you took good notes too. Look at that.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
Right, I mean, I knew the whole, and I know what's going on, that's what she's just. Oh, I know. Yeah, it was already. Well, it's on the.